Hey there, y'all. I'm Bob Bickle,
I'm Allison.
and we're here today to run through the RunSignup Kickoff webinar. I'm bad at housekeeping, but basically you can enter questions and comments into the questions little tab. And Johanna is here with us as well, and Jen. And they'll be kind of collecting those questions and either interrupting us, and Jen and Johanna, feel free to interrupt us, or we'll kind of cover all those questions at the end of the presentation. We do a big set of blog posts at the end of the year to kind of recap 2025 and to talk about 2026, and we break those down into business and also into like the technology of what we delivered and what our product plans are. So feel free to go to the blog and look for those for further detail. These slides will be available afterwards, and the recording will be available afterwards. And Alice and I are expecting about 12 views of that recording. Maybe more. All right, these are the agenda topics. So we'll start with a bit of a thank you. Then we'll cover key metrics, company strategy, and then product plans will consist most of this agenda. So start off with a thank you. So this complex chart on the left here is called a cohort analysis. And what it does is each row is a year of customers that joined us during that year. So in 2010, we had 12 customers. Woo! And each year shows that. And then each column shows how much transaction volume those customers did in their first year, their second year, their third year, their fourth year. That's why 2010 has 16 columns. And 2025 only has one column. And cohort analysis is kind of this common utility, that a way of doing analysis on a business to say, well, if you win customers, do they stick around and do they grow over time, or do you lose customers? And if things grow over time, that kind of implies a good business, because you're not spending a bunch of money to go and have to win new customers, and you can kind of count on your installed base to kind of grow your business some. And in fact, that is what we see in this. So every single cohort here has grown from their first year of how much they processed. Some are just amazingly drastic. So the 2011 cohort is actually 15 times what they were. The 2019 cohort is up 41% from their first year. And it's this long-term set of customers that we have that really plays into the long-term set of employees that we had. This chart shows the people that have been here for 10 years or more. There happens to be about 20 people that have been here for 10 years out of the about 80 people that we have. And if you add up the total number of years of service of employees, we're over 5 centuries of experience. And I think that this is a really positive feedback loop. I just posted a blog on this, but I think it's kind of very fundamental to the success that we've had and continue to have. And the thing that we want to say here is thank you. You know, the people that are at RunSignup really do love what we do. We love building technology and helping our customers, our event customers, and we're totally focused on that, and we love it. And we wouldn't be able to do that unless you all kind of help support us. And it's this very synergistic type of relationship, because this long-term set of employees tries to build better and better over time and deliver more and more technology and value and support to our customer base in a better and better way. And, you know, so thank you to our employee owners, and thank you to all of the customers. this puts it into real numbers. So I love that. More real numbers because we are numbers people here at RunSignup. We actually passed a really big milestone in February. We hit $3 billion of transaction volume that our customers had generated. So that's revenue that our customers generated from their events and for their nonprofits. If you look at some of these charts here, this one down in the lower left is registrations per year. And, you know, it kind of grows from 0. And this past year, we had a little over 11 million registrations. If you look at the growth of kind of some of the key metrics, you know, the number of events with registrations, this is not ticket events, grew from 28,000 to 34,000. Tickets were up 19%. Transaction volume was up 16% overall. Donation volume up 18%. And so it's kind of been a real up and to the right type of experience for us, except for that 2020 pandemic year. But we've fully recovered from that. I also wrote a blog post earlier this week that says that basically races are up 8% from 2019. So the 1,000-person race now has 1,080 people on average. So when we think strategically about our company, really what we do is we create technology and help support our customers. So how are we strategically positioned in the event technology business? So I think really well. First point is that we have a differentiated product. And some of the highlights are, I don't see any other event technology company having an embedded full website and full email and very soon text capability built into the product. And we think that this is very important because it's very important to have the data that's associated with events in with the primary communication channels that events have with their customer base. Race Day Real Time is now to the point that there really is not another product in the market that's even close to the capabilities, the full capabilities of delivering all of the technology that's needed on race day, whether it's scoring or check-in or photos, all that stuff. We just have a great team that's building that. The third piece here is that over the past several years, we've entered into the ticketing market. The ticketing market is kind of different, and it's taken us time to build technology that's really differentiated. The reason we've been so successful in endurance is because it takes a lot of technology to build there. In ticketing, we have found this set of needs around recurring events that happen every day of a week or multiple times per day, have timed entry calendar-based types of things. And we built technology, we have a patent pending on it that is truly differentiated now. And it really kind of matured this past fall. And Allison will talk a little bit about that later. And then our membership product, which has been used for quite a while for running clubs, but now is more of a generic membership product and is going to be utilized across ticketing and races. And we're seeing that use of that broaden considerably. And having all those things together is just kind of very different than anybody else in the market. We also seem to have a faster product cycle. We've done a lot of investment in terms of actually how we release software. So we can release, you know, well over 2,000 releases of our software per year without going down. We've only had 6 minutes of downtime since 2015. We have this large code base, but what we have done over the past 5 years is we've kind of renewed our code base. And so a large percentage of the code base now is very reusable and very new. And so if we put a new feature into websites, it's across all of our technology platform. We also, I think, have done a really good job of hopping on the AI front. And I'll kind of come up here. I feel like what we're focused on is trying to figure out how to make AI tangible for events. And I think, kind of our first pass at that with the chat bot, has been received very, very well. And what we're in the process of doing now is building our own AI infrastructure. And you will see AI be pervasive across our product line. We'll talk more about that later. And then simply, we have a very efficient sales and support mechanism. Part of that is just the long-term team that we have. The people really know what events need, what they're about, and they know our technology really well. And so that helps. We also have built our product in the way that customers can do everything themselves if they want. And what we find is that an increasing number of customers want to do self-serve. They don't want to have to talk to a sales rep. They don't want to have to call somebody and ask for a report. They want to do it themselves. And I think finally, we have this very long-term approach overall in our business. And I think it's true in our sales approach. We'll talk to customers or prospects for 5 years, and after 5 years, they'll finally be in a place where it's convenient for them to make a switch. As we look into 2026, we see a lot of great growth factors that put some wind behind our back. We are kind of the clear leader in the endurance marketplace. We have over 50% market share now, but it continues to go up. Surprisingly, we continue to have more and more races join us. Part of that is because we see some registration vendors kind of reaching the end of the road. Last year it was Emotive. This year it's Chronotrack Registration and Stack are both kind of closing up shop. Stack is Get Me Registered and RaceWire. USA Cycling had been exclusive for a long time. They're starting to open up now, and so USA Cycling events will start to be able to utilize RunSignup, and the way that they do their membership and so forth is very synergistic to how we work. Our race day products are just really great. New timers that are coming into the market, it's just the obvious clear choice. And existing timers are, kind of incrementally making the switch from their old legacy timing software to the race day product set. The calendar-based ticketing is mature now, and we've got references, and we're going to see some nice success from that. We're also going to be kind of unique in terms of having both a membership product and a ticket product. And finally, Eventbrite is making things easy for us, kind of like some of the vendors in the registration market have over the past decade or so, where they've been acquired by private equity, and we would expect to see kind of changes that will cause customers to look elsewhere. So this is kind of a quick overview of all the different things that we're doing, and rather than go into it here, we'll kind of incrementally go through these things. So Allison, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so Website V2 has become a really great product, and the races that have moved over to it are just beyond happy. One of the key parts to our Website V2 strategy is putting it into the Race Wizard for new races in 2026. And so when you're renewing your existing race, and if you haven't upgraded to Website V2, nothing's going to change for you. You're going to have to migrate manually at this point still. But for all the new customers that are creating a website for the first time, they'll go through the wizard, and they will come out of it with a Website V2. This is going to introduce some new capabilities in the wizard. We're going to be able to incorporate some of that image gallery functionality into how you can choose banners and logos. That adds a lot of flexibility in terms of using our system images. We're going to be coming out with a lot more, including a bunch of new illustrations. But it also helps like events that do a lot of the same branded type of events, like nonprofits that can recycle banners and logos across all their events very easily. The other project that we've come out with a V1 of is the event list, and there are more enhancements coming to that, so it works in a more smooth, automated way, along with additional display options for that. Websites are the core part, one of like the key things that we decided to upgrade first to V2. So we did email, which got upgraded to email V2, and now website upgraded to website V2. It's a huge strategic focus, and it integrates very closely with all of these AI investments that we're making. Being able to have these websites that have all these design capabilities, but also structured data that agents can understand is really critical to events being able to leverage these new AI tools that are coming out and have unique custom branded websites totally for free. Text marketing is a project we've been working on for a while, and we're hoping this rolls out earlier in 2026, the first half. It's going to be available across all of our different entity types. And the real nice thing is you're going to be able to get a unique number for each event. We're going to charge a market rate of 1 cent per message, but this will allow you to have text marketing integrated with all the other communications that your event is doing in that same dashboard. The big note here is that text marketing is highly, highly regulated. I think we're all like learning more about the increasing like scrutiny and regulations around like sending emails, and text is like 100 times stricter than that. I think that setting up text marketing for your event is going to be more analogous to setting up a payment account where you are verifying who you are, the business that you are, the contacts that you own. And that requires a lot of development work on our end to make sure that we are delivering you a product that is going to be fully compliant and is not going to get anyone in trouble.
Can you clarify there but the text marketing that you're talking about here is for marketing, not just for sending text?
Right, yeah, it's going to be for marketing. So the V1 of text marketing is going to be, you can upload a list of contacts that you have permission to send text messages to. Over time, text marketing is going to evolve, and it's going to become part of our super list capability, which is our next slide. And so super list is our email capability that we are adding a lot of filters and more options to like create contact lists across everything that you own on the platform, whether that's races, ticket events, volunteers, fundraisers, and apply filters. So for example, everyone who participated in at least 2 events last year and lives within 25 miles of the zip code. There's a lot of background functionality with contact matching. So how do we know that Bob Bickle and Robert Bickle are actually the same person? Super lists are going to first be very integrated with email marketing. You're going to be able to use that when you go to send an email. But over time, the plan is that email and text kind of become communications, and that super list functionality applies to both of those means of communication.
All right, so race day technology. The plan here is to kind of keep moving forward. Our results page in race websites is a bit old, and we're going to be coming out with a version 2. The first thing you'll see, and you'll probably see this in Q1, is kind of a new cover page. And this image in the background is a mock-up of what that cover page will look like. So for each event, there would be a tile, and then there's going to be some summary stat tiles and some graphic tiles. This graphic tile shows like the finish time distribution. So like the number of people between 30 and 34 minutes and 35 and 39 minutes. This will include weather, and it will be configurable over time. The first version will be kind of static. And then the other thing that you'll see in here is that there will be a chat interface inside of here. So people will be able to basically, you know, how like there's search today, but this will be search on steroids. It will be AI based. And so you'd be able to say, how has Steven Sigwart done over the past 10 years at the Scott Coffee Run? And it will produce an analysis for you and things like that. Second thing that we're putting a lot of effort into is timer dashboard. We've made a lot of progress on this already. And basically the idea is that there are timers out there that have multiple teams. So you might have 5 teams in the field. You want to have a timer dashboard that sees a consolidated view of what's happening in real time across all those, and the ability to kind of make corrections on individual races. And so that's what the timer dashboard is all about. It's kind of taking this best of our product being cloud-based as well as being local-based. RaceJoy is getting a modernized user experience that's going to be incremental over the year. But RaceJoy has grown quite a bit in popularity over the past year. And because it now is part of the race day real-time kind of full integration. What that means is that RaceJoy it used to just show like the GPS position. So Allison would have to run with her phone and I would have to watch on my phone to see her, and it was done via GPS. Now what's going to happen is it's integrated with timing mats. So races that have multiple split points, that will get integrated automatically in. And so everybody in the race, you'll be able to see where they are. And we've invented some advanced kind of estimation mechanisms of figuring out pace and so forth to try to locate people on the course. Our mobile tools app, this initially came out as a timing app, but it's getting more and more feature rich. So we're kind of switching it to a race day tools app. It's going to be the photo capabilities become very, very popular, and it's going to go on auto photo mode. And that will be 2 ways. One is it'll take a picture every 5 seconds or whatever you set. And then we're going to be introducing, and we have this in prototype, kind of AI based. So your phone is going to be running AI software that will recognize that a runner is actually coming, and it will take snapshots at that point in time. We'll also be introducing announcer mode in the mobile tool app. Race day scoring is going to be coming out with version 6. This is just more and more real-time capabilities, more and more large race type of capabilities, and also very important to a lot of our customers is series scoring. So those races where you kind of hook 5 races together and you award points for different mechanisms, that's all going to be able to be fine-grained controlled inside race day scoring. And those points will upload into RunSignup, and we'll do a refresh of series scoring results mechanism as well. And also on the event day team, they're going to start working on some point of sale prototypes. This is going to be more in the ticketing market, but it's kind of the start of something new.
One question before you move on from race day. For results, will the new cover page be able to display top results at splits before there are finishers in the race?
That's the objective, is to make it real time. Yeah, and because the underlying architecture is all real time, we'll be able to do that. Yep, and so pretty nice. We can hear you typing, Allison.
Oh, sorry. I was answering the question.
On the infrastructure side, we are just like doing a bunch of stuff that is all hidden to everybody, but it makes sure that we are sound and secure. And it's really important, especially with AI coming on board, because you have these kind of AI models that are not precise, and our system needs to be transactional. And that's something that we need to make sure keeps clean and is stable as we move into this AI world. Allison, do you want to take this one?
Yes. One of our big strategies that we've been implementing for the last few years are V2 features. And so that's given us memberships V2, email V2, website V2, invoicing V2. And we're just going to continue doing that because what it lets us do is add more functionality to tickets, memberships, these new products that we have, while at the same time upgrading that legacy code in races so that everything is using a common code base, making it easier for us to do more development, bring out new features, and just continue investing in all these really, really strategic event markets for us. We are planning on being around for like at least the next 30 years. And so V2 is very, yeah, I don't want problems in the future if everything's messy. And so, yeah, V2 is just going to be a thing that continues to come out. Volunteer V2 is already underway. That's a very real product and will come out probably in the first half of this year. Volunteer V2 will... Yeah, Volunteer V2, basically when we approach one of these projects, we look at all these GitHub issues that have been logged over the past 15 years. And so like being able to sign up for multiple time slots and tasks when you are registering to volunteer. Volunteer V2 is going to solve those core fundamental issues that have been brought up by so many customers. And we're going to do it in a way that Volunteer V2 is going to be able to be standalone. So it's going to be able to have its own website while also still be integrated into an individual race or ticket event. So it gives you more flexibility as well as those capabilities that have been requested by events. Similarly, we've already built Store V2, Questions V2, Coupons V2 for ticket events and membership. Those are all in the products today. And we are going to work on bringing those over to races. Those are major projects. There's a lot of nuances to registration versus tickets versus membership. But that will bring a ton of additional functionality to races, including the ability to share inventory across events and do fulfillments with the check-in app. The other project that's currently underway is the Rich Image and Data project, which will upgrade a lot of places in our platform, such as finisher certificates, printed tickets, membership cards, where you're combining the use of images with real data from the system. And it's going to basically give a new updated way of being able to do these different touch points with your participants, members, et cetera, that get high visibility. Peer-to-peer fundraising continues to be a really strategic area for our company to focus on. I think increasingly nonprofits realize they need a purpose-built events platform in order to raise more money, and our ability to have nonprofits easily do integrations via our API and our partner Sidekick, who is doing a webinar tomorrow that you can sign up for, is making it easier for nonprofits to leverage both all these like feature-rich things that they can do on GiveSignup while getting that data into their own system in real time in the way that they need to. In 2025, we rolled out a lot of new features, including ways for nonprofits to better manage their data and get more reporting. We came out with fundraiser milestone notifications, which add enhanced engagement. A new self-serve page for website V2, where fundraisers can easily view and access their current and past fundraisers, take key actions there, as well as additional features that were requested by our customers. One of the big projects we have been working on in 2025 and will come out hopefully in the first quarter of 2026 is fundraiser email. So you saw us, we updated the volunteer communications to email V2. I'm currently updating the fundraiser communications to email V2 as well. Fundraiser email is two-pronged. So there's the stuff that nonprofits can send from the dashboard to fundraisers and donor lists. And then there's also the email capability for fundraisers from their own fundraising page. And we've always had that for like, I don't know, like a decade, but we're bringing email v2 to that. So brand new ways for nonprofits to create and give their fundraisers and team captains templates, and easy ways for individual fundraisers and team captains to send emails, import contacts, look at their past emails. And so just think in terms of donation solicitation emails, as well as thank you emails that your nonprofit can provide to your fundraisers, and all for free. Calendar-based timed entry ticketing is a really unique product. I think that multi-date and timed entry ticketing is a very challenging technical problem for platforms to solve. And what we found in that market is a lot of frustrated customers because I think the core issue that other platforms have run into is they've put some calendars on top of just a generic ticketing system. And what differentiates us is that we spent a very long time building a unique database that would let us scale timed entry ticketing, as well as a more calendar-based approach, not just on the front end when you're buying tickets, but also in terms of managing your event, managing your attendees, and viewing your data and analytics. I feel like in 2025, we really reached a point of maturation where we were getting significant wins from Fair Harbor, Eventbrite, and some legacy timed entry platforms. We worked really closely with a number of customers that really influenced our product roadmap in terms of what features we prioritized building first. And I expect the same thing to happen in 2026. In 2026, the projects that we are planning on doing are category pricing. So being able to have different price points for a single ticket type, like military, senior, kids, adult, for a general admission ticket. We're also going to continue to mature the way that timed entry events manage their events and their data. Like how can they update pricing and cancel a night more smoothly from the dashboard. And then, of course, just leaving it open to customer-driven requests as they come in. So membership, a lot of running clubs, triathlon clubs have moved over to our new membership product. And in 2026, we're going to be introducing an integration with tickets. So really similar to the registration integration we have today, where membership organizations can offer automated discounts based on your membership level to a race. So now that's going to become available to tickets. And you're going to be able to set those discount rules by the membership level and ticket type. So it gives a lot of flexibility with how you want to offer discounts to incentivize ticket purchases. After that comes out, we have a lot of other priorities. And I think, again, this is going to be heavily based on what customers come on board and help us influence what this product roadmap looks like exactly. The first thing we'll probably be working on being able to upsell memberships to non-members with discounts applied like we have in registration today. We're going to add more enhanced reporting. Loyalty is a concept that was on the V2 slide as well, but I think it applies a lot with when you're thinking about membership, although it can apply to races only or ticket events only, but essentially being able to create your own custom calculations of what defines loyalty at different levels, and being able to award different, discounts and recognition based on that. And then I also put point of sale here. I think a lot of the more strategic use cases of point of sale are going to be, organizations that have like venues like gardens, museums, and they are using both the membership product as well as ticket events, as well as, being able to sell items on site, have volunteers at their venues. And that'll mature as the membership ticket integration comes out and that business continues to become more robust.
So going to AI and I'll start with this so that people kind of get a mental picture of what AI means to us. So it means that a person is talking to a chat interface, so say ChatGPT or Gemini, and they want to do something. And the interesting thing is that they can do that in a natural language, right? That goes to something that we built called an MCP that calls our API that actually interacts with the real RunSignup system. So that large language models have this mechanism that they talk to MCPs, and then the MCP then translates that into real calls into the database, returns that database result, and then the LLM turns that more into natural language. So that's what we're building. And so if you look at the left side of this diagram again, this is the current world and the RunSignup platform. So you have participants, ticket buyers, event directors, and they use event websites and dashboards, APIs, and Google search to interact with RunSignup. The new world is interactive and dynamic versus that transactional and static world. A static world, you think about a dashboard page and you're going in and you're selecting specific options off of that dashboard page. You're typing in specific into text fields to say you want a 10% discount or something like that. In the AI world, it's going to be interactive and dynamic. You're going to be speaking in English to it. And that's what's happening with the RunSignup AI chatbot. And that's what's going to happen as we put AI into dashboards. So you'll be creating a coupon with natural language words rather than selecting fields and things like that inside of there. So the AI world is new, it's interactive. It's going to bring kind of a new layer of interaction. I almost think of it like as a new user interface. So you think of, pre-mobile, and then mobile was kind of a new user interface. This is a new user interface on steroids. This is really, really a huge change, and it's going to impact all of us over the next 5 years, and it's going to grow very, very fast. And we're going to do our best to keep up with it and to try to turn it into like real things that are usable for our customers, our event customers. So what we're working on right now, we've got a team that that is dedicated to building the AI infrastructure. So we're very lucky in that we have this open API already, and that's the foundation that we then build MCP tools and servers on. And so if you happen to have seen Dewey's demo a month or two ago of him actually buying tickets via chat, that was actually using MCP tools that were calling our API, stuff that was kind of easy for us to do. OAuth 2 is maturing. This is the security mechanism, and there are kind of going to be more advanced ways for people to be able to log in via AI and via these third-party chat systems like ChatGPT. And some of that includes things like dynamic client registration, which you guys won't need to think about. We'll take care of all that for you, but it involves us having to do that. And we're going to build this on Amazon AWS. There's something called Bedrock, which is kind of the core functionality that allows us to talk to multiple LLMs, allows us to talk to Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude to actually do one of those queries that we had. And then Agent Core is what we're going to be developing all these applications with. So if we create an application to create coupons, as an example, that will be an agent, and that will run on Agent Core, and we'll have all these agents kind of on Agent Core and Bedrock that will allow us to kind of grow this incrementally and have them kind of cross-purpose used when you have these combination types of applications where you might want to do multiple things together. Allison?
This year, or not this year, last year, 2025, we rolled out RunSignup AI chatbot for websites. Daniel Beasley joined us as a product manager, which is great. He developed a prototype of this and implemented for a few of our races, and it was working great for them. We brought him on and implemented this so that any event using Website V2 is now able to enable a chatbot. And all you have to do is add an FAQ component, which is a new, nicely designed, stylized feature for Website V2. You can quickly use our preset questions to enter in your information for your event. And that, combined with the data on your website, informs the chatbot. And it already does a lot of really nice things, including being able to look at results. It also understands when information on your website changes. So it's able to take that into account. So if you update one of your pieces of information, the chatbot understands that that's new information that needs to digest and then give in its responses. And this is going to just continue to get adopted more widely and get more feedback and continue to improve. The real big thing that'll continue to improve this year is like when new models come out with more capabilities. And yeah, it'll just be a good continuous improvement on the chatbot. One of the things that we demoed on, I think, 2 of our webinars that we did a few weeks back is the ability to buy tickets in chat. This was Dewey's big demo, and it's in prototype only right now. And I think that there are 2 different ways that this is really valuable. So one is being able to have this work on our website V2. And if you watch the demo, it takes a lot longer to buy in chat than it actually does to just go through the purchase path and sign up and like pick your tickets and check out. But I think it's really important that we're, experimenting with these things and understanding how they're going to work, because it's going to just get faster and faster. And so that environment where you're buying in our chat that we're controlling, it's all like within our environment. So we're able to continue work on that. The other thing that we're getting ready to do, and all that infrastructure work Bob talked about, and kind of the invisible work that's going on by just insanely smart people on our team right now, is getting our system ready so that people will be able to buy in these different agents, like in ChatGPT or whatever they use. And they'll be able to say, what's going on this weekend? Oh, there's a 5K near me. Okay, sign me up. And it will just go and execute that. The other use is on the event management side. And so over time, we are going to put RunSignup AI into every dashboard page. And it's going to be focused on what that page's capabilities are. So it's not going to be like a whole mess of data that's trying to understand, or a bunch of actions that it's going to try to understand. And this will just come out incrementally as it becomes available. But our approach to this is very much that AI is going to be a new interface that people use to interact with the internet, both in terms of how participants are, signing up for races, as well as how event directors are managing their events, setting them up, engaging with attendees, and understanding their data. You were going to take this one.
Oh, I'll take this one. AI results warehouse. So what's kind of interesting is that there's this intersection between real data, think results, and AI, which is natural language. So we're actually going to try to combine those 2 things with the results that have been posted over the past 16 years in RunSignup. So there's an enormous, millions and millions of results that are inside RunSignup, and we're basically going to put this into a data warehouse type of a structure that will then create a set of MCP tools on top of that would allow the RunSignup results chat to communicate with this. And so think that it goes from that results chat that I said was going to be on the cover page of just like the Scott Coffey race, and it would be that for any race that's ever happened on RunSignup that has results in it, posted in it. And because it's done with MCP, that will eventually open up to all of the kind of open tools like ChatGPT and Gemini and so forth. So we're kind of excited about that one. It's going to be a lot of learning on our part, and experimentation in some way. We don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but we have pretty high hopes for that. And we partly have high hopes for that because of some work that we've been doing with Sidekick. So what Sidekick has done is they have kind of created a data warehouse capability where they call our API and pull out things like fundraiser details and people that signed up for a peer-to-peer fundraising race and things like that. And then they pull out data from, say, Salesforce or Donor Drive or some donor management system, and they put those together in this data warehouse that then they open up to AI. And it's really interesting, the types of things that you can do and the types of data analysis that you can do. It just increases the amount of flexibility that you have in terms of analyzing your data and understanding it. There's actually a webinar tomorrow with Sidekick. If you're interested in data at all, you're interested in AI at all, definitely attend it. It'll be better than this one. They'll do real demos. Internal development of AI, we have gone full throttle on this. Our development team is still learning and adapting. Some people are ahead of others in terms of how much they've adopted this, but I'd say that everybody is now on board and using AI to at least some level of capability. The primary tool that we use is Cursor. It's like the development environment. And Cursor is an AI system that integrates on the back end with multiple LLMs. And what you can do is you can actually train it on, say, the standards that RunSignup has for doing code. We can train it on what our design system is, so that when it designs a user interface, it's actually using the components that we've created to be reusable. And it's moving from just like text completion on a line to being prompt-based development. What that means is that the developer is not necessarily writing the code, it's telling the AI model what code to write and pointing it to other examples in the code base to write it like that. What's interesting is that the underlying models like Claude 4.5 and Gemini 3 are getting significantly better. So we really started this in January, February of 2025. And by the end of the year, it's gotten like a lot better just because of the underlying AI models are becoming better and better. The final point is that there's a lot of change here going on, but Cursor just acquired a company called Graphite. And one of the things that slows us down in our process, but is fundamentally like vitally important to us, is code reviews. So there's not a line of code that goes out the door without at least one other person reviewing that code. And we are sticklers. We are very we're very specific on how we like our code to be done. And so Graphite has a potential to actually speed that process up. So we expect like our own internal development to actually get faster and faster over the next few years as well. That's a wrap, I think. Johanna, Jen, do we have questions that we can talk about?
Yeah, I think we have a few more. Some of these were responded to in writing, but I think are also worth stating for other people who may have the same question. Can we get a brief explanation of what ticketing is and how it works?
Ticketing is a really fast way to sign up for an event. So unlike registration, where you're collecting like date of birth and you really care about the individual for downstream things like results, you're really just selling a ticket. You don't care who the ticket's for. You're just trying to do it as quickly as possible. So TicketSignup works with both simple events. So think like a one-day festival that has general admission tickets. We work with a ton of track meets that are selling spectator tickets. But it also has advanced capabilities for ticket events that are over multiple dates and may have timed entry as well. So things like haunts, holiday light shows, farm events, agritourism type of activities. That's kind of what ticketing does. So it's more about selling tickets. We're not really caring about the collection of information at that individual level like we do in research.
And what's interesting for us, so from a business perspective, endurance, we're over 50% market share, and so that will begin to taper off in terms of our growth capability there. But with tickets, it allows us to continue to grow so that Allison will have a job in 30 years from now.
And it also lets us continue to invest in the endurance market as
what's really interesting is we've come up with an architecture that uses common code across everything. So we're actually getting funding from both ticket events and endurance events to develop a feature. So say an email feature like super lists is a very difficult thing to do. And you need really good talent to be able to take it on, and it takes a lot of time to really do it well. And we wouldn't be able to do that if we were just in the endurance marketplace. Having both of these marketplaces to fund our growth is really fundamentally important and part of our strategy.
We had a couple forms of this question. Are websites V2 and email V2 in the pipeline for partner accounts?
Absolutely. So they actually are kind of available now because we have organization website, organization email. Nobody should be using partner website anymore. They should be using organizational website. On the email front, the problem has been the partner email has some unique capabilities in terms of being able to pick email across things. And we have organizational email that kind of does it, but it doesn't do it really well yet. And that's the Superlist project that we've been talking about now for a year and a half. I think is getting closer to reality. Once we have Superlists, email V1 will get out of partners, and we want to get rid of it as soon as we possibly can because it's old code and it's more fragile than email V2. That's the trajectory on that.
Race day, with the race day tracking and RaceJoy, are there any plans for an integration with satellite trackers like Spot, Garmin, et cetera, rather than cell phone apps?
No.
Point of sale, is there hardware that we can use at expos for registrations and merch sales going through RunSignup? If so, what would the equipment fees and processing fees be?
Don't think of point of sale until 2027. That was just on the slide to let you know that we're working on it. Our payment processing vendor is Adyen, so we'll probably utilize Adyen hardware for point of sale, but that's a 2027 project. We'll actually be doing development in 2026, but don't expect it until 27.
Couple of volunteer questions in a row. Will there be an expansion of the volunteer database in terms of being able to get a clear picture of of people volunteering across multiple events, et cetera?
To a certain extent, yes. The new volunteer is really focused on volunteers within an event, and so it's really not going to be purposed to doing cross volunteer event type of things.
Well, so that being said, like Superlist capability kind of is going to be the first way that you're really able to do that. And so with Superlist, what you'll be able to do is create a list of all of your volunteers who have volunteered at 3 or more events. And you're going to be able to select which events those are. And so Superlist is going to give us the first way that you're able to really get that data in a more clear way. And the reason we're implementing it there is that we feel that that type of segmentation and understanding of your data, it's most important when it's combined with an action, that action being send an email. And so that'll continue to evolve over the years as well.
And then the second leg of that is this loyalty project that we've made vague reference to, which again, I think is more of a 2027 in terms of being real and being something that's highly functional for everybody on the call. And that will allow for kind of super list capability, but then taking a whole bunch of different actions and assigning points and things like that. So you'd be able to identify people that were, you know, combinations of donors, volunteers, went to ticket events, you know, were involved in races, did fundraising, et cetera, awarding points for all those things. And you know, awarding rewards for that as well, might be discounts and things like that.
Kind of along the lines that kind of hit on it, but just simply, will Volunteer V2 include additional expanded reporting options?
Yeah, it's going to look a lot nicer, and the reporting options are just greatly improved over what it is today. And also, just, you know, today, if you have a lot of volunteer tasks, it's kind of unmanageable in terms of how long it is. That's all going to be kind of nicely and compressible and expandable, and it's a major upgrade, and it looks great. Matt Brady has been kind of leading that project, and he's doing a bang up job.
If you do any ticket events or you have a membership organization and you've looked at your data from the reports, that's using a new framework for reporting that's going to also go into volunteers. And so the capabilities to create saved reports for volunteers, so that if you want to create them and like group various tasks together and look at those volunteers in a dynamic way via reporting, that's all going to kind of be part of that initial part of volunteers.
Yeah, there was a good blog that went out yesterday or the day before about membership reports, and that one I think is a good one to reference, and volunteers will look very similar to that.
Kind of two questions that are similar for volunteers. Will there be text messaging capability to send volunteers a note based on what they're signed up for, and/or will text marketing be available as an option in volunteers?
Eventually.
Text marketing will be an option, and I think I put this in my reply to that one, but it'll be very basic at first, just have a list of contacts, very flat. Over time, longer term, it will evolve to allow that type of selection for texting.
Yeah, you know how like there's email, there will be automated text capability, but again, that's going to be, you know, kind of down the line. Gotta walk before you run.
What's the timeline for super lists to be out?
Well, I think a year ago we said 2025. So
yeah. So what's believable? I don't know. I would hope by the summer time frame. There's a lot of stuff that's done. I mean, we built this contact matching thing, which is worth spending half a minute on. So basically what Allison was referring to, being able to match Bob and Bobby and Robert Bickle all as a single identifiable person, that's all done. And, you know, some of the filtering is already done, and now we have to work that, because like some of this data sets can be, you know, hundreds of thousands of people that you actually choose and filter down to, that then you want to take an action on, like email those people. And making all that efficient and scalable is it's non-trivial.
Almost done here. Got a couple more. Are there things that we should be doing to optimize how the RunSignup MCP understands our race pages? Content.
You should add content to your website. The answer has always been content. But a lot of the stuff for how like agents and everything is going to work, like that's handled by our own website V2 like infrastructure. So don't worry about that. But I would emphasize just adding more content that is going to make you more discoverable. Like those kind of same rules about SEO still apply with how agents understand. I am tracking now in our Google Analytics, like to understand participant behavior in aggregate, like how many are coming from AI platforms. That percentage is still quite low, but it's real. Like there are transactions every single day that are getting referred by AI platforms, like it's participants saying like, what race should I do? And they're going from ChatGPT to a RunSignup page and completing a transaction. If you are using GA4, that's something you can kind of track and monitor. It's just an interesting, data point, and we'll definitely understand how that continues to grow over the coming months and years. ChatGPT is 90% of that, in case anyone was interested. The rest are kind of split between Gemini and Perplexity.
One question, kind of split question on race insurance. Will there be an option for people who use a multi-race bundle to purchase insurance? And will we ever have a report to see who filed a claim or remove them from the event?
So you probably won't realistically see multi-race insurance just because it's complex and the use case is not that broad. And in terms of seeing reports, probably not a high priority project for us either.
Last question here. When will AI, and I'm assuming they mean the chatbot, come to membership websites? Chatbot for membership websites, yeah.
Yeah, probably I don't know, probably in the next 2 quarters.
All right, I think that's it. If we get anything else in the last seconds, we will follow up with you after. But thank you, Bob and Allison, and for everyone who came.
Thank you, all of our customers. We appreciate you.